Detroit is different here with a special that I know a lot of people are like, what is going on here? So what is going on here is that the Wayne County Sheriff's Office is actually going to do a one-stop, one-day recruitment fair. So I got the phone call of some interest in reaching out to the people Detroit is Different connects with. Definitely an audience that people would be like, what's the connection? What's the connection? The connection is this. It's an opportunity if you're interested in connecting with it, because these stories definitely are stories like the Detroit is Different story that does connect. So with that being said, definitely you all are familiar with what we've done with like our George Floyd moment that just left. You all are familiar with definitely so much of the work that I've done with a lot of activists that say, okay, we need to be on top of the ways that policing functions in our community. Definitely. But also when we think of this whole story and the role that plays in society, it's all stories to share. Y'all know that's what Detroit is Different about, critical thought, and also adding that tapestry of everything. So in studio right now is the sheriff himself, right? So the sheriff, Mr. Washington, how are you today?
I'm very well. How about yourself?
Man, all is well. All is well. So we asked some questions in the other form, and we're going to put that all in. But right now, it's just more so a lot of questions about you and your background in the city of Detroit.
Okay.
So really, let's start there.
Okay.
What's the relationship, your family and roots to the city?
Sure. So I was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
Raised in Detroit. So back in 1967, my mom decided she wanted to move from Chicago to Detroit because that's where her brother, my uncle, had found himself to be. He's a pastor. He was given a church, or he was voted to lead a church. And she wanted to be with him. She's an organist and pianist, and he needed some help. So she said, we're moving to Detroit. And so in 1967, that's how we got here. Actually, back in 1978, when I graduated from high school, I immediately filled out an application to join the Detroit Police Department. They took my application, but they were in the midst of getting ready to lay off. So, and at that time as well, I had joined the Michigan National Guard as a military police officer. So I went to the sheriff's office in 1983 as I was waiting for the Detroit Police Department to hire me. And in 1985, they hired me. So I left the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, went to the Detroit Police Department. For the next 24 years, worked there in the Detroit Police Department. Well, in 2009, when my late great friend here, brother Benny Napoleon, became the sheriff, he asked me to leave the Detroit Police Department and come walk in the doors with him at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. So that's how I got back to the Sheriff's Office in 2009.
Okay, so 67, you come the year of the rebellion.
Right.
Is this before or after?
During.
Wow, so while it's happening,
yes,
that is one way to start the ministry of music for your mother.
How about that? Because it was really something for us, even as children. I have a brother and sister. We're all stair steps. So I had a brother 8 and a sister 6. And to see Jeeps riding down the street, I'm like, Mama, what are we doing? Why are we here? You know, and explained the whole thing of the civil rights movement going on and all of that. And we got through it, you know, but it was something to see.
Okay, yeah. So something to see. And then just in that impact, what neighborhood?
So we were on the Collingwood Hamilton area, lived over there. We started out in the Grand River, Oregon area. Then we moved right quick, still during the riot season, to 1449 Collingwood. I never will forget it.
1449 Collingwood. That's like a stone's throw kind of from here, not far,
not
right?
far.
Especially off Hamilton, and just that community and that corridor, especially after post-rebellion. I hear so much of the businesses that were up and down the streets there, and what existed and how things have shaped it and changed, but you still look at the resilience of community in taking those forms.
Yes.
Church. What church?
Greater Grace Temple Church, 7 Mile and Shiawassee. That's where we are now. We started on Puritan and Dexter. And when we moved to Detroit, that's where we were. Puritan and Dexter. It was
Puritan and Dexter.
It was
Grace Temple.
Then at that time, in 1970, we moved to 7 Mile and Cambridge. Schaefer and Cambridge. That's where a synagogue was. There was a lot of Jewish residents that lived in that area during that time. Where we bought one of the synagogues, the church, and that's where we were. Then, in 1983, I believe it was, we built a cathedral portion to the church that it ended up being at 7 Mile, Schaefer and 7 Mile. So that's where, and then we moved over here to over where we are now. Built a new church at 7 Mile and Shiawassee. This work connects to my family values because as a young man, as a young kid actually, my family have always been servants. I come from a family of very religious people who were pastors and preachers. And so I watched my family serve in a way that you serve people religiously, community-wise, and the like. So it connects. It connects. My job connects me to the part that I really love, which is simply serving people, and it's a family value for me that I've learned as a kid.
Okay, so all right. That is an institution of Detroit, and I've actually just had an interview not too long ago where brother was explaining Greater Grace, and it actually started not off 7 Mile in another structure, what you just uplifted in the story.
Yes.
And so if her brother is going to lead Greater Grace, that's not like that became a whole movement that your mother was a part of in that ministry of music.
Absolutely.
What impact did that have on you as a child that you think still kind of moves you today?
So it didn't have much of any kind of impact that would be kind of something that went wrong or anything. My family was there. My cousins were there. I had other cousins who had moved and followed my uncle to Detroit from Chicago. It was a group of us, and so I still had them. And so the impact and things that may have been kind of challenging for a kid who didn't have anybody there. It was perfect for us. I mean, we were family because, again, you have to remember, I'm 7 years old. Don't have a lot of memory from
Chicago.
9 years old to 7, exactly. But so that became I say all the time, I'm a Detroiter. You know, although I was born in Chicago, I'm really, tried and true a Detroiter. Love Detroit.
I would hope during the 80s you did not have a Bulls jersey. I'm just messing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, man. Look, I was at those back-to-back championship games. I'm Detroit Pistons through and through. But we take on challenges that are that we receive through the community with the fact that we're highly trained, first of all, and that we serve with compassion, and that we let the community know that we're there for them for those tough calls that we get. Those calls that we receive are challenging at times. But again, we come together as law enforcement officers. We attack those challenges in the manner that they should be attacked, meaning that, again, we serve with compassion. We're going in, we want to hear about the situation, and we want to deal with it like the citizens would want us to deal with it, understanding their position, whatever it may be, and then knowing what we must do to help them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and then watching something like Greater Grace evolve from the lens of family, that's really what I was going to say. And then ministry of music from your mother. What was it like to witness an organization really become an institution? Yeah.
So my uncle was just that person, as young as he was. Very dynamic pastor and preacher, and the community embraced him wholeheartedly. And it wasn't long before, the Coleman Youngs and the Reverend Anthony's, Reverend Adams' church, who was really kind of across the street from us, became very good friends. And so it was just, he was, as we say, bigger than life, and passed away at 60 years old, and we thought he was old at that time. We did, and I was like 36 or something, 35. We thought he was old, and then when you become 60 plus, you're like, oh, that's not really old at all. He was a young man, but very dynamic, and showed us the way, and we miss him dearly. But my cousin, his son, Charles Ellis now has taken over, and we haven't missed a step. There's multiple things for them to do, and so that's what they like about the sheriff's office, is that the fact that They can come in, they can do one thing, then they can do another, then they can do another, and they enjoy the fact that they're serving people and the fact that they get to make a lot of money at the same time.
Yes, so you witnessed that, and now in that transition, you shared a little bit about starting in the force and what that force meant to you.
Sure.
But now that I really can frame also that you have seen an institution be built connected to your family.
Absolutely. I helped build it, as a matter of fact. I was a laborer when we were building our cathedral portion of the church, passing them big 8 bricks up on scaffolds and building. I wasn't a bricklayer, obviously, but they needed laborers, and so I did that as well.
So witnessing this and leadership and the way community shifts, back to like kind of how do you see a lot of the framework of community, because you've seen it from different lenses, just through the movement of faith and just through community service that you've seen.
Yes.
And also as I uplift, I think in this connection, I was recently, like today, just having a discussion about the stressors of the post that you hold. I know that police officers are usually looking at some of the toughest realities of life,
Sure.
engaging with people.
Sure.
Being a black man in America is always tough just because of the lens in which policing exists historically and also what it means in communities like mine.
Sure.
With that in mind, I also think to myself about what those stressors are that bring about the need for it in a nation like this. You've seen multiple spaces,
Yes.
because you've seen that institution be built on faith.
Yes.
You've seen community so much.
Sure.
Right now at this moment, what are you looking for people to join you on this force? What do they need to see about not just Detroit, but the people of Detroit
Sure.
to really serve?
They need to see that the people of Detroit primarily and basically are hardworking people who came from various areas of the South to move here in this area to raise families, to be able to have decent jobs. And that's what I need people to see when they come into our agencies, that this is a working town. And everybody kind of pitches in together. We hear about the things that go wrong a lot, but we don't talk about the things that are right enough so that people will understand that Detroit is where it's at for us, and we want to bring people into our agency who understand that, who will just gravitate to Detroiters and serve them the proper way. It's as simple as that. So the people that love this work, the people that I serve with, what motivates them is the fact that they want to be in law enforcement as well. When they come to us, they talk about how I want to protect and serve, because that's what you hear.
Yeah, it's very tough because the lens in which I see America itself, and just even how we see a lot of history, it's a lot of violence that exists just in our society.
Sure.
And sometimes those acts of violence aren't necessarily always like the physical. It's just even the thought process, as you say, like those same fears lead to anxieties,
Right.
lead to a lot of people feeling as though to be safe could lead to other ways where you need to protect yourself, which could bring about lethal actions and a lot of misunderstandings.
Absolutely.
And not necessarily, as we say, communication between everyone.
Yes.
And that framing that you just said, and how you see things, because even neighborhoods like mine, there's so many people that's like, oh man, I can't even come over here.
Right.
But it's like, what relationship do you have with over here? How are you looking at the people over here?
Exactly.
How do you welcome in being in spaces? Because there are definitely people that have, lower tolerance to where they would do something that we would see in acts that are in harmony with society.
Sure.
And those mental breakdowns happen often.
Yes.
But in that same side, as you said, like, how do you tell more of the stories? There's so many more days that I'm not seeing the tragedies and the traumas that happen
Yes.
than the days that I do.
Yes. And we just want to get that message out. And I think we best get it out by serving people the right way, letting them see that it's not us against them, it's us together, working together. And I think if they see that more, and we put some things in place in our agency where we're doing that. We're in the community, not to write tickets, not to do things that or come at them with a position of, where are you going? Where do you live? Why are you walking down this street? That's not what we're there for. We're there to deal with some quality of life issues where law-abiding citizens want to see their neighborhood sustained, right? The crime and the heavy Part 1 crimes, the murders, robberies, things, that's not their issue. But they do want to see the morality issues that might be going on in their community addressed. They want to see the loitering that's in front of their neighborhood stores that has an intimidating factor with them approaching the door. They want to see that addressed. They want to see the drag racing and drifting in their community addressed. And those are the things that it's not a hard lift at all. The abandoned vehicles on the street. People who are law-abiding citizens, they want to see those things happen. So it's always it's good for that people will see us come out and address those things for them, because again, it's not us coming in rough and running roughshod on them. It's us coming in to serve them in the manner they want to be served so they can enjoy the things of their neighborhood.
With that being said, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ready to serve and protect? Join us for the Wayne County Sheriff's One-Stop Hiring event, June 28th, 9 to 6 at the Criminal Justice Center. Free interviews, testing, and health screenings. Start your career today. Register now at www.sheriffconnect.com.